Last season, we reported on New York's City Harvest, an organization that collects surplus food from restaurants and institutions and delivers it to the needy. Now the idea has spread to Montreal, where a small group of people is doing the same thing. These programs are unique because they deliver the food immediately without storing it. To those on the receiving end, it's a true city harvest. About $40 million worth of food is wasted each year in New York City. City Harvest salvages some of that food and gets it to the people who need it most. It does so without the delay of storage, making it a unique program.
Thank you.
Started 2 years ago by Helen Pallett, City Harvest has rapidly grown to a $300,000 a year operation with a staff of 10. It's funded by charitable foundations and individuals. How many people are you feeding on a daily basis now? Can you give a rough estimate?
We work with 162 agencies in all 5 boroughs of New York City that feed on an average of 16,000 people a day, 7 days a week.
Some of New York's hungry, waiting outside the Emmaus House soup kitchen in Harlem. For these people, the sight of the City Harvest truck may be the brightest moment of their day. The truck's arrival means good meals with fresh vegetables, fruits, baked goods, and sometimes even leftovers from the chic 4-star restaurants downtown.
You get some very nice things. We even had caviar at one time, you know. So you get a lot of very good food, gourmet cheeses, this kind of thing. Sometimes we don't appreciate it, but it's awfully good.
Is there any chance to get some more soup?
Sure.
City Harvest provides the basics. Meats, vegetables, and canned goods from supermarkets go onto the tables of 162 soup kitchens across New York City. Like the Emmaus House, some of these soup kitchens are cooperatives, where the regulars are encouraged to pitch in to build up a sense of belonging and self-respect.
I know what it is to be hungry and not to know where to go eat, you know, and when you do find a place to go eat, it fills you up for the day because, you know, you come and you're hungry. That's why then you come, you feel good once, you know, you had a good meal, soup, whatever.
But New York City has no monopoly on hunger. In Canada, 2.3 million, or more than 1/4 of Canadian households, live below the poverty line. City Harvest has helped fight hunger in New York City. Now the idea has spread to Canada. Montreal, Quebec. So far, the only Canadian city that's picked up on the idea of City Harvest. Montreal Harvest has been in operation since July, and already it's providing about 200 meals a day. All it took was concern, organization, and utter dedication.
There are a few new places that we've gotten.
In a modest church basement in East End, Montreal, the founders of Montreal Harvest discuss strategy. Unlike City Harvest, Montreal Harvest has had government support. An $18,000 summer youth employment grant from the federal government. Now Helen Pallett's ideas are being put to work on the streets of Montreal.
I think most of us, if not all of us, as founding members, saw the show, the report on W5 of City Harvest in New York. And personally, I was really touched, and from the words of Helen Pallett when she said, it can be done in any major city. Well, I said to myself, why not do it in Montreal? And I said, why don't I do it in Montreal, or don't we do it?
The lineups begin early at the Accueil Bonneau, one of the oldest soup kitchens in Montreal. More than 800 meals are served here each day. Montreal Harvest plays its part, bringing fruits and vegetables from the city's many marketplaces. Drunks, addicts, misfits, the needy and the desperate. They all seek out Accueil Bonneau for refuge and perhaps their only warm meal of the day. Here, charity is no shame. One of the keys to running an organization like this is the telephone. There's plenty of surplus food in this city, and there are lots of hungry people. So what Montreal Harvest does is act as a kind of broker between the people who have the food and the people who need it.
The whole idea is to create a network, a phone number, a central place where, whenever, the people that have the credibility to handle the food, that they're not going to resell it, that they're going to give it free of charge, this number, people know it's there, they just have to phone, and the people will transport the food. So if we can establish that network over the whole Montreal area, then there's nobody that's going to have to go hungry. We're going to have the food, and we're going to be able to distribute it.
In a matter of weeks, Montreal Harvest has spun a network of donors, including supermarkets, bakeries, and even Saint-Justine Hospital. The hospital's kitchens prepare 900 meals a day under the strict supervision of the resident dietitian. But all the efficiency in the world cannot prevent some food from being left over. What would have been waste now becomes nourishment, thanks to Montreal Harvest.
We have really, beautiful reaction of people sometimes, like people saying, oh, at last, I've been in the business for so many years, it always hurt me, to see the food being wasted, but, I always wondered why nobody was doing anything about it, I never had the time, I never could, handle the food and bring it to somewhere, but knowing that somebody handles it, it really makes me feel good. So, when you hear that, it just is like, go on, let's go and do it.
But Montreal Harvest could close down. The federal government's summer grant has run out. Student workers have returned to school. Even money to buy gas for the truck is disappearing fast. And if new funds are not found soon, the truck may have to be sold.
We know the project is sound and it can work, but we don't have the money to go on. But all the contacts are made. So
what you need now are some large donations or even a bunch of small donations.
Of course, yeah. I know, like in Montreal, in the past, and that's what I was told to encourage me, that whenever there was such a project, a project that was good for the welfare of Montrealers, and that Montrealers had to come through to support it, they would come through.
Montreal Harvest staggers on, its network of donors still widening. Some paid workers, like Harvest's co-founder Peter Gantou, have decided to stay on as volunteers. Involvement in Montreal Harvest has provided him with rewards that no money could buy. How does it make you feel when you actually pick up food and then make the delivery?
It's great. The first contacts are sometimes a little hard to make, hard to establish, but once you've got them, bringing the food actually to the soup kitchens gives you such a wonderful feeling. It gives you the incentive to keep going on.
The story of Montreal Harvest has a clear message. In any city, food doesn't have to go to waste. And important social services are not the exclusive preserve of faceless government agencies. Good neighbors like Pierre Legault and his colleagues show real help to the needy is possible on a large scale.